Hey, we back in the building, man. Coach's Corner. Let's talk about it. The Coach's Corner, Coach's Edition. Let's talk about it, Mr. Patterson, man. How you this morning?
Man, I'm doing good this morning, man. How about yourself?
And I'm doing blessed, man. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I can't complain. You know, like they always say, if you complain, nobody's probably even listening to you. You know, nobody cares.
Right, right.
But anyway, hey,
It's a little
man. But
this
anyways,
morning.
man. We got a hot topic, man. We got a hot topic. We're gonna, first we're gonna talk about the National Signing Day, early signing day for Southwest Florida. That's the first thing that we're gonna do. And man, we were next week. We got a actually. Let me talk about next week's topic. It's gonna be. I hope it's a little bit controversial because I love controversy. You already know what it is. Tripleback loves controversy. The greatest coaches of Southwest Florida. The greatest coaches of Southwest Florida. We're going to pick a top 5. And you know what? It might ruffle some feathers. But are you excited about that show?
Oh man, I'm super excited, man. Super excited. You
Mm-hmm.
know, uh, after doing a little research, I found out a lot about Southwest Florida coaching. So I'm super excited about that show.
Yeah,
Some
man.
people might be on this side, some people might be on this side, but we'll definitely find out what the people think.
Okay. Hey, the first thing I want you guys to do when you guys come into this show is you want to like and you want to share this show. Please, please, please. We're trying to get this show on the map and we need your help. We need your help. Also, please comment, in the show. And, if you have some show ideas, if you want to be on the show, if you're a coach and you're doing something, man, definitely contact us, man. All right, man. Let's go, man. Hey, let's go, let's go, let's go. But anyways, man, before we get into the one topic, man, one of the things that I mean, because you've been, an assistant coach for a long time, and I know a lot of times coaches don't really, because you know what, there's a lot of people sometimes in the back that is doing a lot that don't get recognized. And I have to bring, as a homer, I have to bring up somebody like Coach. Like, wasn't a head coach at Naples for like 20 years,
Right.
but a lot of the credit needs to go to him for the success. As an assistant coach, do you sometimes not? Do you not personally, but do you feel like there a lot of times some assistant coaches don't get recognized for the work that they do?
Oh man, that's all the time, man. I think in order to be a great head coach, you have to have great assistants. You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, Great teams, they have great coaching staffs.
Right.
And you need those guys to stop a lot of the stuff, or to not gonna say cause interference, but to before the problems get to the head coach. You need those guys that can be able to solve those problems because he already got enough on his plate. So
Right.
the head coach doesn't need to be able. He got to do the offensive game plan, the defensive game plan, then deal with the kids, then deal with administration, then deal with parents. So you need somebody that can handle that for you, and that's where your great assistant coaches come into play.
Yeah,
And
you
so,
know what, and you know what, in Southwest Florida we have some great coaches. I mean, I don't want to name the names, but there's a lot of guys. For instance, even at Immokalee, I think it was named. I think it's the Gallegos or one of those guys that wasn't like the assistant offensive coach for a long time under the legendary coach, and he finally got his chance. But at program, he was very critical to that program. I mentioned Coach Aller because he was one of those things. Like, even was it Sam Sariani? I think he was an assistant under his dad for a long time.
right,
Yeah,
right.
so that I think that's a great topic. But we won't discuss it more. I mean, we'll discuss it more in the detail in a different show. But I want to give some light to the assistant coaches, man. You're waking up at 4 a.m, doing film, all the grunt work and stuff like that. So we gotta chat. Yeah, we got somebody in the chat early, man. Boy, it's all yeah, man. Shout out to let me show that chat, and we got 15 people in here, man. Make sure first thing you do is you like the show. Like the show. Go ahead and like the show, and also you share it to your friends and everything like that, man. Today we finna turn up. We're getting at least 25 to 30. Let's let that go for that. Coaches and some players, also especially on Little League favorites, don't win. He's the whole team wins, and they just really need a chance. What do you think about that, Coach?
A lot of assistant coaches, man, they have great ideas, and some don't aspire to be head coaches, and some do. I've seen a lot of guys jump out the hopper a little bit too fast, and I've seen a lot of guys stay in the hopper a little bit too long. But when they're ready to make that jump, man, by all means, just go out on a leap of faith and trust your abilities.
What I think Berdine Chapman, I think she's talking about Daddy Ball. I think she's taking some shots at somebody. She said coaches and some players, especially on Little League favorites, don't win. He's the whole team wins games. They just really need a chance. Yeah. I think she's taking a shot at Daddy Ball, but we can get some further clarity on that, man. Let's give some big shout outs, man, to the National Signing Day, early signing day. And I did have a little bit. This is going to be, Triple Black always wants to throw a wrench in the road. Early signing day, to me, it just seems like it keeps getting earlier and earlier. And you know what? All these young men deserve, their spotlight. They deserve the spotlight. They deserve their time to shine. But it keeps getting early. I don't know if it's ESPN. They get their you have the regular signing day, we have all your family and all this type of stuff, but to me, it's almost seeming more like a photo op, either for the coach, for the program, or because let's be honest, the guys that are signing these early, things, some of them have good point, because they're doing early enrollees and things like that.
Right.
Where I'm going with this is, we already know, like the guys that already have these offers, they probably had them in middle school. What do you think about
that? Yeah, some of them get them early, some of them get them late. Like you just touched on, the early signees, they're supposed to be enrolling into college early, but that doesn't happen all the time.
I admit I probably was off the mark on that, because it just seems like it's getting earlier and earlier. It's like, we actually knew 2 years ago you're going to sign with this guy, because they gave you the best offer probably. So right. You're
walking around with all the gear on for the past 2 years, So
right. Then more. Do you feel, when I see some of the things like which. I wish I had that opportunity. I wish I had that opportunity when you go in the cafeteria or when everybody's looking at you, the news comes and things like that. But do you think it's more of a marketing tool now?
Oh, most definitely, man. Most definitely. Everybody want to get their brand out there, man. So if you this past week, I'm telling you, who were huge at getting their brand out was Jackson State with Deion Sanders. Like, they were everywhere. You saw they put out content just about every day. We were able to flip this kid from Division I, so that's huge. So for what they were doing, But also, other schools, FSU, Florida, Miami, everybody want to get out there on ESPN to put their brand out there. But most of the time, it's not even for the class that they're recruiting. It's for the later classes. So,
Right.
2021, they're looking at 2022. They want to get that brand, that exposure out for 2022, 2023. They're already recruiting those kids, and a lot of times there's subliminal messages that's getting out there to them early.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Dante, man. Shout out to Dante, Big Dreams family. You already know what it is, man. He was on the show, man. Shout out to Big Dante. Hey, he's a big Florida Gator fan. I'm sure he was probably crowd.
Dante.
Hey, Dante, did you walk around barefoot? Dog? Did you walk around barefoot for a week?
Dante gonna be quiet all day today, man. All day today, he's gonna be quiet. He's nervous, man. Got Alabama tonight.
Hey, you know what? He said the marketability went up 19 million already. Hey, but anyways, hey, you know what? Hey, Dante just actually brought a great subject up. I think, the thing about it is, all right, when you do sign, because when you're 17, 18, sometimes you don't make the best decisions and you second guess yourself. Signing that early or making a commitment that early, a lot of times is that, because the thing about it is when you make that commitment early, right? And let's just say you have a bad seat. Okay, we have a signee that signed up over. Obviously, he was getting recruited by was it Gus Malzahn? I'm just using him as an example.
Right.
Gus Malzahn is gone. You've already wore the gear for months, sometimes years, and now the person that recruited you, the regime that recruited you, that you committed to, is gone. How do you deal with that?
Hey man, that's why the transfer portal is full, man. That's one of the reasons why it's full. Some years back, had an experience with a young man that situation happened to him. He was recruited by one staff. That following year, that staff was let go. And when the next staff came in, he wasn't so high on the totem pole with the new guys, And so he ended up transferring out, and he found a home later, but it was a long, it wasn't a ride that he anticipated it to be. He had to go a different route. And sometimes you find a lot of kids like that, they want to go to this certain school because they built a relationship with that coach. And then all of a sudden, 1-2 years into it, that coach is gone. And now you got a new guy coming in and he's looking to build his name, and right. So a lot of people, a lot of kids, some kids do stay. Some kids do tough it out and stay and get what they came to get. I've always advised kids, when you pick your choice, pick it on the university. Like this is going to be your home for the next 4 years, regardless of who the coach is going to be. It's great if your guy stay, but if your guy leave, you still love where you're at. And that plays a major factor into it.
Yeah. And you know what? This is the controversial subject that, again, I'm going to tackle too. This is the point of the show. That's probably why they put me on the show is Dante mentioned markability. Markability, they're using these kids like this to recruit other players. And, with social media and all this likes and all this stuff, that's a big revenue driver. Do you really think it's fair for them to use a kid's likeness, but not really give them a lot of benefit other than the scholarship, which is a tremendous benefit?
Personally, man, I don't think it's fair because these universities are getting rich. And I know people say, oh, well, you're getting a free education out of it. My education going to cost $100,000, but you're going to make $100 billion, off of my likeness just in this year. and 100 billion going forward. Because every time, if you look at the top 5 or the top 10 recruiting classes, every school that's in that top 10 or that top 15, their enrollment numbers go up.
Right.
People, they want to go to a winning school. They want to have a winning football program. So the days of some of these schools where my granddaddy and my great granddaddy and my great great granddaddy went to, like, that's played out now, because those programs aren't winning like they used to be.
Yeah, man. Let me read this chat real quick. We got Berdine Chapman, not upset or mad, but it's real. There are a lot of kids work hard and they do different things, but Champs helps build those babies' esteem. They just want to feel like they are doing some good. I said it here. I hear it, and I feel some kids, not just one team, it's all over. It shouldn't be just like that. Don't get me wrong. I love our coaches. They are good coaches. I'm just saying it's existing all over, man. That's one of my struggles, boy. I cannot read. I cannot read. You know what it is? No, I can't read out loud. I read with my eyes. You know what I'm saying? It's like I paraphrase. Yeah. That's always one of the things that but reading out loud, oh my goodness. Needs to be. But anyways, man, you know what? What do you feel about that? You know what? Shout out to Dante, because I remember we had a show a long time ago about a topic like this, the participation award. Woohoo! Hey, I get it. Parents pay money. They pay money to for their kids to play and stuff like that. But you have the 4-play rule and all this type of stuff. Like, I remember when we were talking about it, some coaches get a little annoyed about it. What do you think?
Man, that's a touchy subject right there. So
I know, but I'm just saying, you're in a 13 ball game, and then you got little Johnny over there that Johnny, and you have to score. What do you make Johnny's mom mad?
Well, I came from the youth league, so that's where I started coaching. And we, as a staff, we had a rule that if the kids show up every day, we got to find some way to get this kid into the game. If he show up every way, because, 1 or 2 plays, man, like, she right. It does a lot for the self-esteem of the kids, and it keeps them motivated, and the original program that I started in, we actually started a program to tutor kids, and then it evolved into a football program, so then we was able to use football as a tool to get the most out of our kids in the academic standards, so, yes, I am all on board. Minimum 4 to 5 plays per kid. As long as they're showing up every day, man, and they doing what they're supposed to do, you got to reward them. That's the saying, hard work always pays off. So, you just got to do it.
You got to do it. You got to do it. But I don't know. But sometimes, when the heat of battle, you got that. You got that team. Hey, you got that team. On the ropes, and you're about to, and then you look at little Johnny's sad face. What do? You take the win, or you take Johnny?
No, you take Johnny. You put Johnny to play. Johnny, you're gonna be on kickoff. Johnny, some type of special teams play, man.
Okay.
Janet, you're gonna be doing something like this, man. And that way, mom and dad. But sometimes, man, I've been a part of it where you have parents that kid play the whole game, and they're upset. Well, he didn't get the ball enough, or he didn't do this, and I'm like, he played the whole game. What else can your kid do? We got other kids on the team too, so sometimes parents they see their kid, as being Michael Jordan, and sometimes he's not Michael Jordan. Sometimes he's the last guy on the bench. He's he's just not Michael Jordan.
Oh man, hey man, let's take time to give out some shout outs to the early signees. We had Camonte Grimes signed in Nebraska. You know what unique about that kid? I mean, he played youth ball with my nephew. Shout out to Stanley Hippolyte. That's my nephew. He was a quarterback at Lely, but they played for the Trojans, the South Naples Trojans, and they used to platoon at quarterback. And I remember watching Camonte. You could tell early he was kind of like a man playing amongst boys. He would be like that. He'd get in the game. You'd be like, oh, they'll be up and be like, why is he still in the game? Like, you can see the frustration on the other team. Basically, like, and then he's, he's high stepping, before he scores a touchdown and stuff like that. He was a freak athlete, had all the measurables, man. I mean, you probably did you play against him?
No, I was gone by the time he came through.
Well, no, East Lee County didn't play Palmetto Ridge this year.
No. And when I was at Markley, I was long. He probably was a freshman my last year there, so he was just coming up through the ranks. But I did get a chance to see him when they played Dunbar. And I watched some film on him. Good looking kid, man. Like good looking kid. So him and the other kid, Diodone.
So Dudon, Dudon is actually signing to Western Michigan. You know what? And the reason I brought up Camonte first is because he's signing with Nebraska. Again, the topic that I was just talking about. Scott Frost is on hot. Like it's completely hot.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if is it Osborne still the athletic director running the show?
No, I think I want to say he jumped into politics.
Yeah,
I think.
But he has. I think he still has a lot of influence on Nebraska, which may save Scott Frost. And what the thing about it that is like, I always wondered why those guys that were, the star quarterback or the star player, when they go to their alma mater, they just fall flat on their face. Like, I don't understand. Like, I never understood that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? Mike Gundy. He's been successful. Like, what's his name? Mark Richt. He wasn't a star player really, but when he went to Miami, fell right on his face. Scott Frost, what we're seeing right now in Nebraska, I wonder about that because he's signing early, and I don't know if he's. I mean, unless he know. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to last because Nebraska has fallen from grace, pretty far, and and he has a specialized type of offense. If you or defense or program, you signing this early and you have a regime change, that might be I'll get off there. I'll move quickly on these. John signed. Congratulations to him. He signed at Western Michigan. Terrific program. Morency from Lely signed with Northern Iowa. Malik Curtis signed with the U. You already know what it is, man. Malik Curtis, tremendous athlete, man. The only question with him would he protect better as a wide receiver or a cornerback. Did you watch any film on him?
That's the kid from Bishop, right?
Yeah, Bishop Verot.
Yeah, I watched a little film on him. I got a chance to see him up close and personal at the All-Star game. Very, very fast, man. He caught a slant and it was to the house, man. You know, he was kind of, playing around a little bit, but yeah, great speed, excellent speed. They definitely gonna enjoy him. He'll see the field early.
Yeah, man. The others is Tre'Vasius Dawson. I'll just say Dawson. Not pronounce names, but anyway, Dawson is going to Auburn. And what are your impressions on that kid?
Good size. Auburn got him a really good kid. He's definitely going to be able to go in and compete right away. There's nothing wrong even if you go in and you sit a year. Like, you're going to get bigger, faster, stronger. You're going to understand your academics. You on a 5-year program at that point. So it's
Right.
only going to do good for you and your future. But he'll definitely probably go in and play right away.
Man, you know what? I wish I could take a trip to Lehigh because I mean, shout out to James Chaney, man, for and they have a tremendous recruiting pipeline, and
Right.
I mean they really, 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 really put out some send some kids some good quality programs, man. Like the next on the list is Jake Chaney, man. Jake Chaney's signing with Wisconsin. Tackling machine,
Right.
always around the ball. Ball hawk, man.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
bad boy, man. He comes with I call him Mr. Bad Intentions because when he get there, he's bringing bad intentions.
yeah, I mean, the only question with him, his size. What do you project? I mean, because you're a defensive coach, what do you project? Middle or some type of role on the outside?
Well, he's always played inside. That's what his instincts are best at, on the inside. So they'll definitely he'll fit in perfect in their system. He can tackle sideline to sideline. But in their system, they're gonna put him in there, and he's gonna be tackle to tackle. He's gonna be a tackling machine for him.
Yeah, you know what? That's a subject we're gonna dive into later. Is undersized players, and there's no such thing as really undersized anymore. People. I mean, like they're not like you remember. It used to be if you were a middle linebacker, you had to be 6 foot, 6'1", 230. But now you have linebackers that are 5'10", 5'9", long as you can tackle. So he shouldn't have any thing. We have Jarrell Washington. Jarrell Washington signed with Illinois, the Illini. Shout out to Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith and. We had Keon Terrell.
All right, so that's what we just talked about. Lovey is out. They fired him this week.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's out, man. They fired him this week. So this is class coming in, but
Yeah, that makes it tough. That makes it really, really tough right now because the thing about it is the recruiting process is very lengthy. It's a very lengthy process. You're going to have a lot of, you have a lot of offers and all this type of stuff. So, you've been wearing the shirt for how long, and you've been committed and on, you forge these relationships with these coaches for that long and then boom, you get fired. So that was the thing is like the early signing period, it's because it seems like it's getting earlier and earlier. That's a tough thing, because even if you're an early enrollee, you're going into a program with a lame duck coach or a,
right, and it's tough all around, man. So that's why it's important for the student athlete to choose the school for the school. Like it's a place that they're gonna want to come back 10 years, 20 years, 30 years from now.
And you know what? What's crazy? Interesting thing about Jarrell, his dad was Richard Washington. He played for Fort Myers. Mm-hmm. And what's unique about him is I think he originally signed with committed to Florida State, but ended up going to NC State. But he was the number one wide receiver in the country.
Wow.
Number one rated one.
Wow.
Richard Washington. I remember that. Yeah.
That's big time.
Yeah, that's big time. You know, he was he's number one. Number one. I mean, like, we have a couple people like, yeah, Richard Young, which is the number one sophomore running back in the country. But back then, before social media, before those type of things, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. But Fort Myers is kind of used to that because they've had, you know, people in the past like Jamie Thurman, you know, those type of athletes. But he was number one receiver in the thing. But one thing I left out about Lehigh was Amarion Cooper signing with Florida State, which, again, I don't know if Norvell is going to survive. You know, with how coaching is right now too. What do you think about that?
And listen, Norvell has to survive. Like, they're going to do everything in their power to make sure he survives, because that's 3 coaches in, you know, less than 5 years. You know,
it looked ugly. You know, with the other coach, it looks really ugly now.
Right. Because if you look at Taggart, they were losing, but it was close games. Like, they were still in the game. You know, it comes down to a fourth quarter. You know, with this guy here, like, most of these games are over with by the second quarter, you know, and now being it that, right, you know, these are not the players that he recruited, you know, I think they just got finished with Jimbo last class, you know, so right, now he's got 1 year of Taggart kids, you know, and then, you know, from here on forward, these will be his kids that he's recruiting. That was a surprise with Amarion going to Florida State. That was definitely a surprise for me. I thought he would have went the other route. But Florida State also, they picked up a transfer from Central Florida, the quarterback.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. With the guy that was hurt, you know, you got 1 more year, you mean?
Yeah,
that guy that was hurt. I forgot what his name is. But, anyways, you know, Florida State does good at Lehigh. I wonder why. I wonder why they do so good at, you know, they got Quayshawn Fuller, like, you know, 2 years ago. They got Quayshawn Fuller 2 years ago, which, you know, that was really early. And then I think they even got his brother under commitment too. So, and you know, their head coach is from
right.
So I wonder.
You know, that's almost a no-brainer, man. But hey, there you go, the marketing again, you know, every day. And I'm not saying this is what Coach Chaney do, but I'm pretty sure he wear a FSU shirt, you know, once a week, you know, once every other week. You know, the kids see it for 4 years. Hey, it's a no-brainer, man. You know, he gonna share.
Yeah, man.
So, you know, that's another, you know, for those big time programs, you know. You know, look, I'm a University of Georgia guy, man. I'm from Georgia. So I'm always, hey, man, you thought about going to University of Georgia? You know, or, you know, FAMU, Coach Simmons, man, great guy at FAMU, man. So I'm always a big advocate for him and his program also.
Yeah. I never asked, did you play, where did you play football at?
I only played high school, man. I wasn't big time like that, man. I was just a high school player, Georgia. Man. Filled my role. Yep, Bamers High School in Southern Georgia. Matter of fact,
you had some bangers in your in the high schools around you.
Yeah, you know, there was a couple guys, a couple really good guys, man. Cairo had a couple good players. You know, in South Georgia, man, you know, Thomas County Central, they won 5 championships in 6 years. Valdosta High, man, they won, you know, the winningest program ever. You had Lowndes County, you know, so every year we played Valdosta, we played Lowndes, we played Tiff. It was voted the toughest regional football in the United States of America, because at one point every team in the region could win state. So you don't have a week.
So there was no off weeks.
No off week. So if you think about compared it to Southwest Florida, every team is built like Lehigh, Fort Myers, Dunbar. You know, and you can go 7-8 deep. Like that's what every team is built like. You know, in today's game.
Yeah, man. South Florida just got Keon Terrell. I don't know much about him, but USF is they got Cy Young and also Darren Felix on their staff. I mean on their roster. Do you know much about this Terrell kid?
No, I just know he's out of Fort Myers.
Yeah, Fort Myers High.
You know, pretty good speed. You know, I know that. He's not from what I recall from him, he's not a big kid. We didn't play them this year. We played him last year, and that Felix, man, he the truth, the real deal, man.
Oh man, he messed up Naples' playoff run one year. Came in there, they spanked Naples. And they were still running the antiquated wing T. They were killing them with it.
Right. They've been running that system for years, man.
Yeah, man. Another kid that I just see that with Dunbar just signed was Chris Thomas. And right. He was a 3-star athlete, but measurables on that kid is, man, I thought Derek Hunter was big. This kid he's like 6'6", 300 pounds, 82-inch wingspan.
Huge. We played him the first week, man. Huge.
Athletic. I heard he's athletic too.
Look, I gotta, so we played him the first week, and my quarterback, he comes back to the sideline. He said, "Coach, soon as they snap the ball, this dude is breathing on my neck. Can you help me out?" Listen, man, the funniest thing I've heard my whole time coaching, like, soon as the ball gets to you breathing on my neck. So I ended up putting a sniffer in the game, man. We trying to block this dude with 3 guys, man. And he's like, he got 2 up in the air on one arm, and the other one, he's just manhandling him. He's a monster. You know, if he go to college and play, you know, even when I saw him playing against Central, and he gave them a tough time, you know. So if he go to college and his potential is through the roof, man.
Yeah, man. You know, it's crazy because because they have another Florida commit, which is a sophomore, Sean Russ,
right
there. It seems like these dots do be connecting a lot. You know, when it comes to recruiting. You know, like when we were talking about James Chaney, a little bit earlier, Quayshawn Fuller. I think his brother is even committed to Florida State. So those connections and all those things matter, you know. And Chris Thompson. I mean, I don't know if there was another Dunbar kid that went to Florida, but you know what? That right there in the Sean Russ can create a pipeline for Dunbar, you know, in Florida. So that's a good thing. And then there's a Christian Harrison is going to Foreman University. You know anything about that kid? I think he was a parole.
No, I don't know anything about him.
And Daniel Pilgrim from North is signed with FIU. He's going to be a tight end. And then there's another kid this kid is really, really fast. I seen, was it Brandon Benjamin? He's going to sign with Missouri State, but I think he's going to a prep school before. Any thoughts and opinions on that kid?
Oh yeah, super fast kid. You know, if he's going that route, then, you know, probably something got to do with the grades. But you know, he'll get it right, man. He'll get it right.
Yeah. What's interesting about Fort Myers is you got a lot of these guys, and their last name is usually is like, you know, because like when you hear Washington, you know, Washington, that's a big name in Fort Myers. And there's a lot of football players with the last name Washington. You know, a lot of connections. Thomas, like, the Greg Thomas, you know, Terrell, all those, Benjamin. There's a lot of, you know, those. I always felt that was very interesting.
Right.
That was very interesting.
The Watkins, you know.
Watkins. Yeah, Watkins is a big name too. The topic that we were going to talk about, and we were having a conversation the other day, and I remember a couple years ago in Immokalee, you coached at Immokalee, and there was one kid that we were talking about was Fred Green. Fred Green, tremendous athlete, I think he even had to share the backfield with another guy, and he still had Malcolm Jackson. He still had a tremendous amount of yards. It wasn't, there's a lot of players that had to deal with this. One of them, Manny Morgan,
right.
At Naples. I think he's 5,000 yard rusher. Usually 5,000 in high school. That's the pinnacle. A 2,000 yard season. You're thinking Power 5 at least. Power 5 at least. One of my old coworkers, his son, Ilan Samala, at Naples, the back, tremendous season. He had to share the ball with Chez Mellusi, and he had over 1,600 yards. And I wonder, because you probably had to deal with this, because there's a lot of undersized players that you probably had to coach that were tremendous athletes.
Right.
Talk about that. Like a Fred Green that is tremendous, but when colleges come, you're not 6 foot, you're not 200 pounds. You're good, you're really good, but
right. Well, from a lot of coaches I've talked to, the one thing they always say, you can't coach size, and for every reason, whoever came out with the measurables, a lot of these guys, they're coming in, they're looking for size. And I think the one thing they're missing is they're missing heart. Where are the guys that got the heart, that they're going to lay it out on the line every single day because they really, really want it, and, you get these guys that are, and I'm not saying all guys, all big guys, but some of them, they just don't want it like that. And a kid like Fred Green, like he wanted it, Malcolm Jackson was the other kid that shared the backfield with him, and then the other kid they had to share with their last year with Abraham Alsay, so you had a 3-headed monster back there, and then you had RJ Rosales. If RJ would have been 6'2", he would have been the number 1 quarterback in the country easily, but he's 5'8", 5'9", so he doesn't make the list, but he can throw the ball with the best of them. He broke.
Yeah, I know, but when you see a Kyler Murray having tremendous success in the NFL, you see a Russell Wilson. Why do coaches still hang on to that? Like, for instance, I don't understand. Like, you seen like Darren Sproles. I remember Darren Sproles was at Kansas, and Darren Sproles was the man because I lived in Kansas City around that time. Darren Sproles was the man, and K-State Snyder was able to recognize that Darren Sproles was special.
Right.
I don't understand how those kids get like how do you deny when you see a Fred Green on film or Darren Sproles on film? It's like, how do you deny, like RJ Rosales? How do you you're paying against St. Thomas Aquinas? Or who they were playing against? No, American Heritage or whatever.
American Heritage.
Yeah. And you see this guy doing things against D1 signees and all these type of things, doing everything that he's supposed to, but you just say, oh man, he's just too small. How does that happen?
Hey, I think it's because they're comparing their kids to the Alabama kids. When the Alabama kids roll off the bus, man, they are monsters. And everybody's just not built like that.
Right.
Central is a good thing been said. He's another kid. He's at Liberty, showing out, man. But the programs for some reason they look at Shedro and then they look at Najee Harris at Alabama, and that's what they're comparing them to. Or you looking at Zamir White at Georgia, comparing them to those kids. Rather than just saying, Fred Green, he gonna be the best he can for us. You know, he can do it all. You know, Shedro Lewis, same thing, man. Those type of kids, they can do it all if just given the opportunity. You know, but that's why I think, man, they're competing with the, you know, all these schools are competing with the Georgias and the Alabamas and the Floridas, you know, and those schools are always get the best of the best, you know. So
yeah, but the thing about it is like, for instance, even Tonga Vailoa does not fit the prototype.
right.
Somehow Alabama was able to see that special skill that he brought. I mean, like
Right.
like he, to me, he's an outlier, kind of. He's left-handed. He's probably about 5'11". I mean, they give him 6 foot, but he doesn't look like it. You know,
Right.
he does have, you know, I think above average. I mean, his accuracy is pinpoint. I don't know about his. I mean, I wouldn't grade his arm strength, but how do they recognize that outlier right there versus, because he doesn't have, like, if when you think of Alabama, you're thinking of them recruiting was it Trevor Lawrence? That's the type guy you see them. I wonder what their thought process when you see a Tonga Vailoa. What makes him? Because in my opinion, he's undersized.
Right, he is like just game changer, man. You know, game changer, and you know they were willing to take a chance on him. Like they knew that he could take the program to a level that it hasn't been offensively. You know, and so you know they pulled the trigger on it. And I think with what Kyler Murray, like you said, with what Kyler Murray is doing, you're gonna see a lot more guys get opportunities. You know, it's almost like if you think about the black quarterback. You know, in the beginning you had Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon. You know, those type of guys had to go through it, and then over the years it has progressed. And so now on Sundays, you know, it's not unusual to see a black quarterback versus a black quarterback. Well, I believe with Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson, you're going to start seeing more and more short quarterbacks or short players. You had the kid from the Chicago Bears came out of the HBCU. You know, he's 5'9", but he's toting that rock. You know, so you're going to start seeing more kids like that come out and get opportunities.
Make sure you guys like and share this. Again, let's read the stat. Our coaches do follow the rules as far as how many times you're on the field. Okay. Oh boy. And, but anyways, you know, they follow the rules, but I just think that you know, when you're in the heat of battle, I don't know if coach really want to be hearing, you know, hey, little Johnny needs to get in the game. You know,
right.
Yeah, I think that's probably one of the things. And shout out a 239 All-Star Game tryout is actually at the Stars Complex right now, man. So you guys go and check out the 239 we are 239 game tryouts today at the Stars Complex, man. That's going to be a big event, man. Big event, and you know, hey, I'm excited about the game, man. I'm excited about the game. Last year it was really churned up, so that should be a good thing. But we were supposed to have Andrew on, but you know he's doing his thing right now, so can't really.
And that's a great event that he's hosting, man. You know, I talked to a couple of my buddies from home last night, and they were like, "Man, that needs to come here, you know, to get our kids some exposure, you know." So yeah, Drew is definitely on to something there. The 239, and the great thing about it is all of 239. So I participated. I coached in it last year. Did the tryouts, and I had kids come from Moorhaven, Clewiston, Naples, Marco Island, Fort Myers, Cape, Charlotte. You know, kids were just coming from all over, man. So that was huge.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron, man. Iron sharpens iron, man. Hey, man, everybody that goes on here, man, if you're in the chat room, man, make sure you like the, like the stream, please. Just like the stream and share it. You know, we're trying to grow this thing. Next week, we got the Big Dream Sports 5 top coaches of all time, in Southwest Florida, man. A little bit controversial, but let's get back on this topic about because you've seen it, firsthand, and as a coach, I'm sure you have to serve as a mentor to a lot of the kids, in depending on what program that you're at. Sometimes you have to almost serve as a second father, to a lot of these. And the undersized thing, I think, is a big, because I remember, growing up, because I was 5'9", never was 5'10", but I played defensive tackle, and I played, but fortunately for me, I got a chance to play college football at a small level, really, really small level, and that was one of the biggest concerns. I was like, man, you know what? No matter what I do, I'm probably never going to get an opportunity. And I wonder what the thought process, when you have some of those players, and I'm sure you've probably seen firsthand where you have a guy that's working hard in the weight room, that's doing everything that he needs to do with grades and everything, and is playing good on the field. And when the big recruiters come in, even looking, talk about that.
Right. It's for me, it's a little personal. I'm an undersized guy, and it's like they come in with their mind already made up.
Right.
They come in mind already made up. I remember a few years back we had McKenzie. He was getting recruited, and I remember the guy from Auburn came, and we had another kid that was really, really good. And then we had a freshman. He was a freshman at the time, Tyreek Brown. And he looked at Tyreek, and Tyreek was probably close to 6 feet, 14 years old. And he was like, I'll be back to get him. So, they just come in, man, with their mind made up. Like, this is what I'm looking for. And if the kid doesn't measure out to this, it doesn't matter what the film says. It doesn't matter what the coaches say. This is what I want, And so, and if you look at it, a lot of guys have gotten fired behind just going at height. A lot of guys have gotten fired, instead of, I look at it as creating a system, and that's what the guy up at Liberty, Hugh Freeze, he's creating a system, and, they can play with almost anybody in the country. And a lot of their players they're not Alabama size.
What's very interesting was Tony Dungy kind of made it because if you look at Tony Dungy's defenses and his whole tree, they've had a lot of undersized players, and it's worked. It's worked. For instance, you remember Warren Sapp at his position, 6 foot,
right,
290, 285. That's not a road grader. That's not a road. One of the best defensive tackles of all time, Derrick Brooks. Right. Same defense. Not a road grader. Not a big linebacker. Rondé Barber. Not prototypical size or whatever, but somehow, he made it. You had Nate, the middle linebacker guy. There's a bunch of them, especially in that defense, that Tampa 2 defense. I just don't understand, when you've seen that success, Bob Sanders, I can keep naming all those people, Dwight Freeney, in that type defense that's had success, but still there is that stigma still. That's what I don't be understanding. Aaron Donald is probably the best defensive player. Probably, I want to say he's probably on pace to be of his generation. He's not even prototypical size for defensive tackle. Matter of fact, he is completely undersized.
Right. Hard work, man. All those guys you just mentioned, those guys are like Like their work ethic is second to none, and when you get guys with good character, they work hard all the time, and they want to be a part of something. Like you can't measure their height and their size and determine how good they're going to be. Because that hard work, that character, that gives you the extra 2-3 inches that you don't have.
Right.
That determination, that gives you that 0.3 seconds that you don't have on your 40 time, and that type of stuff can't be measured.
Yeah, it's just like I wish that we had Coach Chaney on here. Give us some recruiting tips. What are some recruiting tips that you can give to some players that that would make them kind of stick out? Even like with RJ Rosales, I'll give that. I mean, if he's throwing touchdown after touchdown, making read after read after read, I mean, for me, I just can't fathom coaches being like, look at his size, and we don't want him because of that, because you can't legislate. I mean,
Right.
What are some tips that you would give to a player that would not meet the prototypical measurables?
Well, the biggest thing I would say is create your own brand. Like who you are. Do you check the boxes as far as character? As far as hardworking, and create your own brand. Because all you need is for one school to say yes. That's it. You need one program to say yes. That's all you need. And a kid like RJ, he did that. He constantly worked his butt off. And I think one day, news crew just driving through Amaka and they saw him working. The story is that they pulled over to the side and saw it was him out in the field, just working by himself. And they did a story on him. And the story got put on that night, and he got some calls from it, So that's just him being his authentic self, who he is, But his brand, you never heard anything bad about him. You never heard that he didn't want to work. You always heard he loved the game, And so if you love the game and you create your own brand and just be your authentic self all the time, like somebody will say yes. Now when you get there, you work your butt off. When you get there with a purpose. Come with the intentions that you're going to be the best. And sometimes these kids. It's not Alabama. It's not Oklahoma. It's not a Texas. It can be a D2 or a D3 school, and they're not playing on TV. They're not on ESPN, and they come back home. When I hear that, I know that they wasn't in the game for the right reasons.
Right.
If you're in the game for the right reasons, wherever you're gonna be at, like you're gonna do your best, and that's the biggest thing, man. Create your own brand and be your authentic self, So that would be the biggest tip that I would give them. Everything else can be manufactured.
Man, hey, we're gonna wrap up the show a little bit, but I have one more question for you. Man, it seems like I'm interviewing you, Coach, but this is supposed to be. But anyways, man, I'm glad that you brought up that. It's because you see that, the recruiting process. There's a lot of lights, a lot of glitter, there's a lot of promises, there's a lot of salesmen. There's a lot of stuff that comes with that. And you know what? I know there's a lot of athletes that, because this is the only offer on the table, my heart is really not in it to go to that school. But because I want to, have that, all the lights on me for that one day in the gymnasium, and also the lights on me in the cafeteria with all my family. Everybody's suited and booted, skinning and grinning. Everybody, I'm the, it's just like that. I want that so bad. And you know what? I took that recruit. That's the only offer I got. Man, I don't want to go to cold. because I had some friends. I mean, like, I know a couple of people that went up there and they said the school something. I don't want that, but I got to sign this. But there's this other coach that was like, hey, you know what? We're out of scholarship, but you got good grades. You're in
Mhm.
state. We can get you on. We can prefer you. We can get you the funding that you need in your family, the help that you need to get in this school. All you got to do is just get on the field and work your butt off. You show us that you deserve it.
Right.
Come on here. You might not get the fanfare. You might not get that National Signing Day photo op and all this type of stuff. But you know what? In my heart, this is where I really want to be. I really want to be here. What do
Right.
you think about what I just unpack that a little bit?
Well, you take the walk on, man.
That's not a that's a hard sell though. You got to tell deep down the kid's heart might be in it, but or it could be the opposite. He has the opportunity to go to a good program, but it's not a national program. And he feels, man, you know what? If I go to this program, I'm not really going to get a chance to go to the next level. I'm going to force fit into this walk-on program just so I can say I, played at a D1 school. Because there's two sides. I mean, it's a complicated thing.
And if he feel that he can make the squad, then he got to do that. But that's where it comes. That's where it comes down. What is your goal as far as being in the game? What are your intentions? And then what is your love of the game? So I always ask kids, what does the final destination look like? And
Right.
if they don't know, then we sit down and we talk about what does the final destination look like. And then we work our way backwards, and then that's how we make the correct choice on where we're going to go, So I advise kids to do it. What does the final destination look like, And then once you know that, then you know which route that you want to go to, if
you've been in the coaching trenches, and I know that you can't impose your will on a lot of decisions that be made, either that are influenced by family members, but do you see a lot of those opportunities being passed up? Taking the route of, I got good grades, I live in Florida, I got Florida Bright Futures, so my tuition can be paid for. Hey, squeeze a little bit of money to stay in the dorms and stuff like that, but I really want to play for this program. But I don't get the fanfare that you didn't get a scholarship, but you're walking on to to Florida. There's not a lot of fanfare that comes with it. I mean, have you seen that a lot of those opportunities being passed up because of factors?
Oh, all the time, all the time. If you look at it this year, let's say if you got 100 kids going off to college to play football, probably, and a good friend of mine, he wrote his final master's degree essay on this, or he almost turned it into a book. And I believe, if I'm correct, he said that within one semester, 60% of those kids were back home, whether it was a walk-on or if they were going to a school out of state, So out of 100 kids, only 40 of them, and I'm just throwing out 100, but only 40% of them are gonna stay, more than one semester. And then as time go on, that number goes down to 20%. So I think it was only 10% that they leave. Only 10% come back with a degree, or they stay out 4 years, or they go to the league or whatever. So the numbers are, if you out of 100, only 10 are gonna come back with a degree, or get to the next level. So
I think that is more of a discussion that we need to have is right school fit. It's just like, to me, I compare it as like a pretty girl, a really pretty woman liking you, and she likes me and she looks pretty, but I'm not really connected to her. But because she likes me and she's offering me, yeah, I gotta take it. And a lot of times that's not the best decision possible because at the end of the day, and the thing about it is I think, and I'm not saying, I think some coaches probably do their athletes a disservice and not put realistic expectations on the next level. The next level is the top 1% of 1% of the athletes that are even in college or whatever. Very few of those, was it 300 people get drafted, or was it 199 get drafted out of, 900 something programs every year to go to the NFL? I mean, it's not realistic. And I think those professional aspiration decisions can have a lasting effect on because you sign with with Alabama or Texas with the expectation that you're going to get a chance at the next level, and a lot of times it's not realistic, and you end up going up there not liking the program and then come back home, and then some people never recover from that.
Right. No, you're definitely right, man. Some people never recover. Like you can. Still now. I remember growing up, man. I hear a lot of stories, man. I used to be. And now, man, they on the bottle. So we have to do a better job of. I've been able to eat off the game of football and take care of my family off the game of football for the past 20 plus years. I didn't make it to no big time college. I wasn't a big time high school football player. I didn't make it to the league. But this game offers more than just that. And so I've been able to eat off the game. I've been able to take care of my family off of the game. I've been able to mentor a lot of young men, and see a lot of young men go on to become productive citizens. So the game is more than Saturday. The game is more than Friday nights. The game is more than Saturday, and it's more than Sunday. Like this is a multi-billion, almost $1 trillion industry. You think about it from the NFL all the way down to high school level. My high school team played last night. I want to say they had 7,000 people in the stands at $15 a head. Come on, man.
Wow. That's a lot of scratch right there.
Not even including concessions, not including parking. That's $100,000 a night, man. That's just one high school last night, man. So just think about all over this country, and then on Saturdays and the TV deals, and I saw a school last night. They have their own broadcasting production team, and they sell that time to the local news station. So just think about the money that's going on out there, man. And right. I believe we have to start redirecting our kids to start thinking about the game as a career. Like it's more than just being on the field on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah. What time is 15-year-old tryouts? Man, I got Andrew's in the room.
1:00.
1:00. Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I get talking to football, man. I know we were supposed to, but I got one more topic for you, and then I promise you, I see you got, your little one in the back, probably wants some attention from daddy. So, but one of the, I think, when we were just talking about the walk-on stuff, and again, even lower at the totem, the thing, is the JUCO thing, the JUCO. And I'll admit, there is a stigma, kind of, to me, with JUCO. It's like JUCO is like, there's like differences. Like, you got prep school. You didn't, when we were growing up, there was a thing called Prop 48 or something like that. Prop 48, where, even if you're not a qualifier, you can still sign with a team and kind of take like a red shirt, like a kind of a red shirt type year, and get your grades up and then qualify.
Right.
The stigma, and I don't know how you, if you feel this way, but I think certain players, they might not want to admit it. When you have to take the JUCO route, it's like I don't really want to talk about it. It's like it's like you're going to, I don't know, boot camp or something like that. And then in 2 years you're going to go back. It's prep school. It's okay. What do you think about JUCO?
Hey man, it's another avenue. And like I said, if you love the game, man, it don't matter where you got to go to play the game and be a part of the game. So JUCO is a second chance. So I didn't do something right the first time. And so now JUCO gives me a second opportunity. Or I had a young man. He went out to Nebraska D3 school. He was out there for a whole year. He transferred from there to the JUCO in Miami. He did a whole year there, and then he got picked up by FAU. But he wasn't getting those phone calls and those texts, and he wasn't getting that love. So JUCO was actually his best friend because it gave the D1 school an opportunity to see him. And so it just kind of all depends on the player and the situation they're in. But it's another opportunity. It's another opportunity. I'm all
especially for just for special. I mean, like I guess undersized players that would probably give him a chance. But the thing about that is the big time JUCO programs are filled with guys that didn't make the grades, guys that went to jail, guys that. So it's even hard for the undersized kid that's not really, not a lot of fanfare or a lot of recruitment to get into those programs too. That makes it a little bit tough too, because those you have those there was a Jayhawk conference up in Kansas, or they only get the upper echelon guys. Like the California programs only get the upper echelon guys. Texas JUCO, which one the meaningful JUCOs, it's like a reform school. But I wonder if a lot of kids that again, the pretty girl chooses you. You don't really like the pretty girl, but you feel like you need to date the pretty girl. And then when you start dating the pretty girl, you find out, oh man, she's awful. She's awful. I wish I would have just took the girl that I like, maybe graduated to another. I'm just using that analogy. You think a lot of players feel that, they wish like, man, if I could have it all back, I would have probably signed with the JUCO, prove myself, and have my own choice.
Nah, I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
Well, because that's hard work, man. And we're in a society, even back when I was in school, man, you're in a society, everybody, not everybody want to put that hard work in, man. My guy ET, he always said if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, and so a lot of guys, man, that's a hard road to go to. And even think about this right here. Another, and when we've forgotten about these programs, HBCUs, like that's another avenue that we've forgotten about. Like our kids don't even know that before 1970s, blacks and Hispanics could not even be on an Alabama or Georgia or University of Florida. We couldn't even go to those schools. So HBUs, how you had the Gramblings, the Southerns, the FAMUs, the Bethune-Cookmans, the Howards, the Alcorn States, like those programs was putting our kids into the league. Mississippi Valley State, those programs were putting us in the league, and then we just forgot all about them, because we start looking at these bigger programs. But HBCUs is another way. It's another avenue to get there. And that's why I love what Coach Simmons is doing at FAMU, and also what Dion is doing out at Jackson State.
Hey, you know what? You brought that up. Man, was it Jeff Bezos' ex-wife? I think she just donated $1.2 billion to HBCUs. That's, college football, as a whole probably makes a couple billion a year, but a $1.2 $1 billion
Right.
injection into HBCUs, it's going to have like a tremendous effect on their athletic programs with their
Oh,
budgeting and stuff like that.
huge, you know. My daughter goes to a HBCU, and my second daughter, she's probably gonna go to a HBCU. And what I told her is that if everybody that graduated, if they all just gave $25 a month, like our HBCUs would be just as, you know, as large as the Florida State. Like FAMU would be just as big as Florida State, you know.
Right.
Not so much because Florida State, they getting those huge, large endowments, you know, but $25, you think about everybody that stepped on FAMU campus gave $25, like that's huge.
Plus the alumni that already give a lot of money, you know.
Right, but it you know, for us it's not enough, you know. Like Bethune-Cookman, you know, smaller Albany State, you know, Fort Valley States, you know, those programs they don't get the money like that a Howard or a Morehouse or a Spelman would get, or Clark Atlanta, you know. So you know, those programs, they have to do some things a little bit different, and we have to be part of that change. You know, I just looked at yesterday I was looking at a video about what Deion is creating over there at Jackson State, you know, and the enrollment has went up all over HBCUs now. So it's almost like a different world. If you remember Different World back in the day, Reboot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is. I think Deion has been in media for a long time, so he knows media. He knows media big, and I think that's going to be a very important component to the overall success of Jackson State, even for HBCUs in general. You know, I think that him being in that is going to, I think it's going to have a domino effect. You're going to see a lot of changes. You sent me something that I saw that it was James Chaney had posted something on Facebook, which I guess there was a big thread. And I'll read the post. It says Southwest Florida, best chance to win a state championship in Florida will come when we focus on and promote and celebrate the Fort Myers / Lee County area, not just our programs or schools. When we stop worrying about who doing what and why they got this or that. I'm talking about coaches, administration, parents, and everyone else in between. It will take us as an area to get this accomplished. If we remain divided, as a state championship will never be accomplished. We must sharpen each other through support and collaboration. Our desire should be at least on team from the Fort Myers area to be represented in each class in the state series. Guess what state championship brings to the area? College coaches, our kids, our schools, our communities, youth football folks in this area, this message pertains to you. And I guess that I want to say, that was a little bit. Hey, you said something very interesting. You were the only team to beat, to conquer Dollar's defense and what's the name's defense. I think when you were coaching, you know, 2 wins against Naples and and you said not one coach reached out to you guys to find out how you guys did.
Not one, man. Not one. You know, I've talked to coaches and I said, man, you know, just look at Naples. Oh man, I never studied Naples. No, I don't look at Naples. I'm like, why not? You know, like they are the pinnacle of success in Southwest Florida. So why would you not study that, you know? And so when I first got down here, man, about 10 years ago, that was the first game I coached in was against Naples, and they whooped us pretty good. And but I noticed they were not more talented than us. Like they did not have a lot of talented kids, but they were disciplined. They were well coached. And so I just started paying attention from that point on. So Coach Chaney, he's definitely right, man. Like, he stepped on a lot of toes, man, with that comment. Because think about this.
It sounds like a lot of coaches are keeping their cards to their chest.
Hard. Well, think about this right here, man. So Andrew is putting this on today. He doesn't have to do that, but he grew up here. He know how tough it is to get out, and so he's putting that on today. Big Dream Sports putting that on today, man, to give these young athletes an opportunity that they normally would not get. Now, in my opinion, every school should have at least one or two representatives out there, because what it says, we are 239, and, so we all should be out there. Every school should be out there with at least one or two representatives to show that unity,
Yeah, I mean,
that's my opinion.
I'm just saying he said a lot, but he said a lot.
Right.
Because he said a lot. And the thing we talked about, I remember we talked about this before, that, like, for instance, in college, some of those success, like, for instance, Dabo Swinney, right?
Right.
And you wonder why those coaches, if they lose the coaches, they lose their assistant job or whatever, they're finding a job like that. Because these guys they all collaborate with each other. They all collaborate. Like, you don't think Nick Saban is calling Bill Belichick when he's playing, a certain, team or Bill Belichick, they all have, like, connections with each other. And what he's saying is in order for us to bring a state championship, we need collaboration. We need to be connected. We need to have all those type of things. Because, if I'm Sammy Brown and I'm playing Central and Laley just smacked Central, Central just smacked Laley, I should have a connection with somebody on Laley. Like, what is Central doing?
Right.
It sounds like that doesn't happen here. Because I know Central, as soon as Northwestern is, if they beat Northwestern and Northwestern has played a team that's going to play Central in the state playoffs or whatever, guess what? It's about Miami now.
Right.
It's about Miami taking that chip to Dade County.
Right.
It's not about it's not about Dunbar taking that chip to Lee County.
No. No. And I give you this. From some years back, we were getting ready to play American Heritage, and Laley had just played them, and it was that Monday morning. It was 5:30 in the morning. I called the head coach, Combra St. Jean, and he can attest to this. I say, hey, man, what are they doing? I done seen film, but I want to know if you could play them again, what would you do different? He said, I'm going to call you back in about 30 minutes. He called me back in 30 minutes, and he gave me the whole game plan of what they would do different. And I passed that on to my defensive coordinator, and we put together a game plan. And that was their first year they won the state championship with Sony Michelle. We ended up getting the kid, Jamon Thomas. He got hurt, got injured, didn't play that game. But we would have beat them if Jamon would have played, But I've always tried to do that, man. Like, if you just beat a team, like, hey, man, what did y'all do, man? If you don't mind sharing, and then I owe you one in the future, but Yeah, man. Lot of clicks going on around here, man.
We need to stop that, man. Hey, with you coaches, man, you guys need to get out there. The we 239, try out. Hey, you guys need to get out there and hey, listen, man. And I got the overarching message of this thing. It's we are 239.
Right.
There's no state championship. There's no chip, because the thing about it is, what's that saying is a rising tide rises all ships. If you bring that chip to here, it's going to bring there's no reason Lee County shouldn't be like Pahokee, Belle Glades area.
Right.
Those kids right there. I mean, if you're just anybody good, like in that area, Belle Glades, Pahokee, the Muck and Lewiston area and all this type of stuff, you're getting, I mean, that's a football. I mean, all those are football factories. Those kids are getting offers. It's expected. Some of those kids, I mean, the talent pool that we have here is probably equal to that. But I mean, if you look at those schools, I mean, I bet you they're getting, I mean, they probably have sometimes 10 signees every year. I mean, like you played against those guys, right? Am I what your kids would be saying, capping?
No, man, if you look at Michigan, they starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. He's from Pahokee. So yeah, those kids, they pop up everywhere, man. Pahokee, right. Glaze, or was it Glaze Central?
Right.
Man, they pop up everywhere, man. But they've seen the blueprint. Like, they've seen the blueprint up close and personal. So this is how I get out. This is how I get to this. Like, they know what the destination look like. This is the lifestyle I want, and this is the avenue I can get to it. So once you've seen the blueprint, you ain't got to do nothing different. Just follow the blueprint. And that's probably what we need to do here in 239. Like, if you go to 305, I can almost guarantee you those guys are sitting down with each other and like, hey, man, you and I, we keep knocking each other off. How about you?
No, you can tell. You know why? Because the state playoff series or state championship series, you're going to have a team from Dade, usually. You're going to have a team from Pahokee area, right? There's only a couple. I mean, they always a representative around there, right? Right or wrong? Always. And then you always have there's a couple programs around there in North Florida. I can't remember. They always have but you can tell the proof is in the pudding, because those coaches probably collaborate. They probably go on all the court, because I almost forget who plays it, because I know it's 305 when they play in the championship. Whether it's Central, Caris, it's 305. Pahokee, it's the Muck. It's always the Muck. Ironically, you guys are pretty close to the Muck over there, but it's always the Muck, or it's always like Tampa, Tampa area, and I think Cheney hit on something that we kind of need to take that to bring state chip.
Right. I totally agree. Up until I've been in Lee County coaching 2 years now. Like, let me say this, I assumed Fort Myers had won a state championship. I assume, Dunbar had won I assume these programs had already won a championship, and then, talking with Andrew, he brought back the first championship to Lee County, with Canterbury. That's huge. I don't think we don't give him enough credit for what he's doing over there.
Right.
And like I call him, I pick his brain, man. Like, you don't want a championship. Like, why would I not? Why would I not pick your brain? You know. So okay, so and but to each his own, man. But Chaney, hey, man, that was
yeah,
right.
but this is it, and I'll be transparent. I don't care who don't like it. Ego. That's what it's EGO. Aaron, I mean, like Andrew is around my age. I'm not gonna give my age or whatever. But he's considered a young guy.
Right.
He's a sign that like he can connect with the young kids. He can talk about the drip, the swag, and I don't know whatever words that he using, capping, and whatever. He can forge. He knows how to forge a unique relationship with the players because of his age group, and his he can connect with the players. That aspect is a very, very, very important aspect. But if you have a coach that's been coaching 30 years, like, why would I call Andrew?
Right.
Why would I call Andrew and be like, Andrew, man, how do I get these kids to get off of Fortnite and pay more attention? How do I get them excited to practice?
Hey, man,
my ego is way too big for that. Huh?
Right. But the ego is gonna stop you from winning a championship.
Right.
The ego is gonna stop you from winning. Like I remember hearing coaches talk about when Coach Kramer got to Naples, how he always he called Coach Weber. Hey, so what are you doing? So what are you doing? They used to have a down and dirty camp. How many guys you sending down and dirty? Okay, then the next year, that's how many he got there. He got the same number. Oh, you guys doing this 7-on-7? Oh, yeah. Then you see, then Naples pop up there, because he knew that if, Weber had already got this program off the ground, the blueprint, what does the final destination look like? And if I just follow the blueprint, I'm going to get there.
You know why Collier County, one of the reasons that Collier County got a state. There's a lot of different reasons. Like Coach Kramer, they used to have weightlifting competitions with different schools around there. Nobody was doing that. Right. Weightlifting competition. Next thing you know, everybody because when and I'll tell this story real quick. I remember the first time Coach Dollar came in. He looked at our weight room. It was bigger, it was like hammer strength machines and all this type of stuff. And he's like, get this all out of here. Get out. He got that little accent. Get this out of here. We need to, about a couple of weeks later, we see a whole, we had bigger, stronger, faster Olympic lifting. What is this? What's Olympic lifting? Wow. And what we found out was, why was Laley spanking us? They were doing Olympic like power clean, snatch, and colleges were doing that. Everybody's have this antiquated thing. Next thing you know, they're doing weightlifting contests with Laley, then Estero. Then Estero started their own, weightlifting program. Then, all these, and then guess what? Estero's winning, Laley's winning, Naples is winning. They're going to down and dirty camps with each other. They're seeing all those type of things. Where I'm going with this is that stuff happening in Lee County?
Not to my knowledge.
You're a coach. You're a coach. You're a coach.
You got to remember, I'm all the way out, man. I might hear from everybody else, man. So,
have you heard about a weightlifting competition between Dunbar and Fort Myers?
I haven't heard about it, but that, don't mean that it could not be happening. I haven't heard about it. I know Kate reached out to us, but just different conflicts of time.
Right.
They couldn't get to us and we couldn't get to them. They reached out. So nah, man. There's a lot of stuff in the county that we could do better, that we should be doing better, but until everybody decides that the main goal in Lee County is a state championship, like somebody has to bring a state championship to Lee County. But if you look at just by the districts, the best teams in Lee County gonna knock each other off because we're all in the same district. Where if you look at a Dade, or if you look at a Broward, or if you even look at Hillsborough now, they're starting to spread their teams out. So now instead of you got two teams in the pot or two chances to win the big deal, now you got 7, 8 opportunities. And just in the game of math, probability, your percentages go up. If I got 8 opportunities and I'm sending 35 teams, versus I got 2 opportunities and I'm sending, 8, 9 teams, and we're gonna knock each other off. So you really gonna get possibly one, opportunity to get that.
Yeah. You know what? Andrew's gonna kill me, man. And I said this thing, but you know what? Hey, this guy, man, I love to talk about football. I love talking about football. I could be here all day talking about football. It's just like I just can't stop. I gotta stop myself. You know what I'm saying? I just love to talk about sports. I just love to talk about these topics. Other than just like the surface level stuff, like things. And I think, and I hope you guys appreciate it. Make sure you guys like that. But we gotta definitely end the show because I'm gonna be here all day. But make sure you guys like it. We are 239 tryouts is happening at 1 o'clock. I mean, what's happening right now at the Stars Complex.
So 6U to 14U is from 8 to 12, and then high school is from 1 to 3.
1 to 3, man. No twerking to parents and stuff like that. We don't want to say there's kids out. There's gonna be kids out there. There's gonna be some. But anyways, man. Hey, Coach, any final words?
Nah, man. Just Merry Christmas to everybody, and be safe out there, man. We're still in a pandemic. Unfortunately, I had to do some traveling, but I'm trying to get home as soon as possible. And everybody be safe and enjoy the holidays. Enjoy your family.
Next week, we're going to come with the top 5 coaches in Southwest Florida of all time. And it's going to be a dandy. But, some people, they might not be mad about who's on the list, but the order it's in. So stay tuned next week. Let's talk about it. Coaches Edition, Big Dream Sports, man. No Cupcake Zones, my podcast. Make sure you guys check that out. You got any Twitter handles, any Instagram handles, or any social media that you like to plug?
Yeah, you can catch me on Twitter at Coach Pat239, Facebook Michael Patterson, and then on Instagram the Impact Group. That's MMPAK Group, Impact Group.
And where can they find your book? Because you have a book.
Right. You can find my book on Google Books, Live, Love, and Lead, How to Transform Your Life from Ordinary to Exceptional. Or you can DM me on any of those 3 sites, and I can personally get you a copy, a physical copy. I can personally get you a copy to you.
All right, man. All right, man. You guys have a good Saturday morning, the rest of it, man, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace.